All right, so now the final step. We're going to put everything together in Gantt Project. So what I like to do is you put your two files side by side. We have our task in Word that we just worked on, and then we have Gantt Project on the right-hand side. So first, we got to add some tasks. So the first task we have is going to the store. So for Windows, I just push Control T to get a new task. I just literally type go to store, enter. Okay, and then we have 15 minutes for that. So I put 15. Now note that these are in days. Okay, and then here on the left we put minutes. So just pretend that we're using um a right proper time conversions. Okay, so just pretend that we've got this in days. But when you do your actual project, it's going to take days instead of minutes to do some of these tasks. But if it's really fast, you can just put 1 day. All right, so then we just keep going. We buy our PBJ bread. Okay, and then that's also 15 minutes. Now, before we click OK, I want to show you something. If you go to predecessors, we can say right here, add, and then you can say go to store, and you can say OK. So now you can see here, if I show you right here, we've got this arrow here that goes down. And so this task going to store is going to flow into buying PBJ and bread. Okay, so there we go. And we just keep going and filling out the rest of this Gantt chart. Okay, so here's what final Gantt chart could look like. So let me make this bigger so we can, oops, make this bigger so we can see. All right, so here on the left, we started with going to the store, we buy our ingredients, we come home. So these three, we said they have to be done in series. And we got our plate out, we got a butter knife, a bag of bread. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, actually, technically, you could do these three in parallel. You're totally right. Okay, but just for illustration purposes, I just chose to do it this way. If you can make your Gantt chart shorter, that'd be better. The faster you do it, the better, as long as the quality is the same. All right, so after we did that, we got our slice of bread on the plate, and these flow into the next task of opening the jars. You spread your peanut butter and your jelly on the bread, put your slice of bread together. We close and store away all of our ingredients. We eat our sandwich. Again, it takes me maybe 10 minutes. Maybe you were faster. Then we clean up, wash dishes, we dry them, and then we have buffer time. So what's cool about Gantt Project is there's this thing here called Show Critical Path. I can click it, and we can see that there are some of these rectangles that are shaded. So the rectangles that are the longest or the widest, these will form our critical path. And so it's important that you have all these interdependencies and these arrows so you can see and trace back to the very top of the waterfall, all the way back to the very bottom. Which one of these tasks or which stream or which rivers are going to take the longest. And there's also another function here called today. You can say today, and there's that red vertical line there, and it goes right through your Gantt chart to show you how far you are in the schedule. And so one thing you can also do, you can go to task properties. There's this progress bar here. So let's say it's maybe you're halfway to the store, so you can say 50%. And if you rather not type as much, you can also just drag the progress bar like that. But the rule for Gantt charts is you can't flow to the next task right until all the water comes to the end of this river. You know, intuitively, right? I cannot go here, and when the water's here, then I can keep on going down to the next task, right? So that's how it works. So that's our simple peanut butter and jelly Gantt chart. And so if we look at our critical path again, so everything that's on this shaded area is a critical path. So when we're talking about putting away ingredients, this is not that critical. When we talk about putting the jelly on, we said it's going to take 1 minute or 1 day. Peanut butter takes 2 days or 2 minutes. Okay, and then we have opening your bag of bread. So these non-shaded tasks, if they were to be delayed for any reason, you can still finish on time as long as they don't exceed the length of the other task, right? Then now this becomes more critical or becomes longer and causes a delay. And so if you wanted to, you could try to be smart. Maybe you want to do all of these together, right? As you're eating, you clean up to save you some time. You can totally do that. Or you can put all this away first and then you can eat, but then these would be flowing into this task and then they wouldn't all be in four parallel tasks. So there's different ways you can design this. There's no right or wrong answer per se, but because it's a simple example, it seems pretty straightforward. Now, if you don't design the Gantt chart well, you're going to just get this long series of all these tasks that go from one to the next to the next to the next to the next. And sometimes you have to do it that way, but to save time, it'd be best if you can do this trick of having parallel tasks, right? I can do multiple things at the same time, or it doesn't matter which one of these comes first. So that's also very important. So it's sort of an inside secret and tip I learned over the years. And I think that's about it. So we've shown a critical path. We've shown today we're on schedule, assuming we already went to the store. We have our ingredients, and we can start making our peanut butter jelly sandwich. And at this time, because we're early in the project, we haven't consumed any buffer time. So we've answered all the key questions, all the Gantt charts need to answer. And so the next video, we're going to look at a Gantt chart that I personally put together for our drone team.